Oh my God. Time just flies, ladies and gentlemen, and it usually flies on the portal. Hey, you doing, Todd? Good to see you. And T-Bone and Henry Dong and Neil and Rachel gets it right and so many more. We'll get into more of who's here in a minute, but yeah, I like I like totally got sidetracked, and I looked at the clock and it was like 5:45, and I was like, oh yeah, I still got a bunch of time, and I thought I had pretty much everywhere done and everything ready to go, and then suddenly I look at the clock and I'm like, dude, I'm supposed to start in like 3 minutes, so I hadn't done the promo and all that stuff and all the social media links, so I'm like, oh God, how did it happen? It was like I lost about 45 minutes to an hour, just like boom, it was gone. I'm like, geez. Crazy how that works. Usually the time anomalies happen during the course of the shows, but this was actually before the show. So maybe it's missing time. I don't know. You never know. But how are you guys doing? Thank you so much for joining me. Sheldon will be along shortly, but I had kind of a cool day today too. I took the Minion and Mrs. ice skating, and it was fun. It was fun. It's just a local public rink around here, and we went and I used to ice skate when I was just a little guy, and it was kind of still in there somewhere, believe it or not. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was. I didn't fall once. I might have been using like one of those polar bear statues with the big skis on them for a little bit. But we had a good time. It was a lot of fun. And, it's just kind of neat to do things like that together and just have moments and memories. So we did that today because Minion didn't have school today. He's got a teacher workshop day or something like that. So he had an extra day for his weekend. And, so I don't know. We had a good day. But I'll tell you what, as I'm getting older, the energy levels are tougher and tougher. I'm an older dad, I guess, really. And I've got this 9-year-old kid who's just got energy all day long. And it's sometimes hard to keep up. But I'll tell you, again, this is my big go-to, folks. This is my big go-to, and this is Magic Mind, everybody. And this is an incredible product that I've been really fortunate not only to discover for my own use, but to promote it officially here on the shows. And honestly, again, I've told you guys this over and over, and I'm sorry to be redundant, but I couldn't be more sincere that this is really something I use and believe in personally. And I would have never guessed, I mean, we're all becoming more and more conscientious of the things that we're putting into our bodies. I think we kind of have to, because we got a lot of really poor diet here in the U.S. and in other countries, but I think the U.S. is particularly bad in terms of the things that are in our foods that probably shouldn't be. And so these kind of things come into mind, and there's a lot of products out there that'll like give you pep and zip and stuff, but you're eating some kind of Franken soup of something, and I'm not saying whatever, but I'm just so thrilled to have found this and to know that it's something that I can put in my body. It is absolutely effective. It gives me energy, focus, clarity. It reduces my stress level. I find that I just got a brighter mind, if that makes sense. And it's a personal observation, but I just know that I've got energy all day long just from this little shot. And I would just encourage you, if you don't know much about Magic Mind, please look into it. You can go to magicmind.com to learn more about the product and what they have to offer. They have these energy shots, these all day long. One of these will take care of you for all day. And they also have an evening shot for those of you that have trouble shutting down at the end of the day. Like if you're laying in bed and you just can't get into that sleep mode, it's really supposed to help you. And I haven't tried that one yet, but I can only tell you that I'm a real believer in what they do, and I'm sure the nighttime shots work just as great. But this has been the deal. So they just come in these they come in these boxes of 15, and you can order different order sizes depending on what you're looking for. But they come and literally every day, just grab one of these. And usually I take it in the morning. However, I saved it today to take it with you guys now. And this is it. You just crack it open, give it a little shake, crack it open. And it's just that easy. Now, I know a lot of people that are looking at better health. They got jars and jars of things to take. I like that this is all contained in one little quick dose. Like I don't have to rifle through 15 bottles of different supplements and stuff. It's all done for me. You kick it back, you know, and it tastes great. I really do enjoy the taste of this stuff. And it's just so fast acting. It gets absorbed real quick and you'll notice a difference right away. Now, the really cool thing about Magic Mind is that if you go to this URL right here, and this is at magicmind.com/portaljan. And God, I dropped the ball on that again. There should be a /portaljan, Jan for January. So portaljan. So magicmind.com/portaljan. You can save 45 up to 50% off. They have different options for you to order. And the beautiful thing is that it's absolutely risk-free, because if you get this and you're like, that's just not what I'm looking for, I don't like it, it's not working for me, they'll give you 100 days to get a full refund, no questions asked. 100 days. So you can try it. If it's not what you think it should be, or if you just don't enjoy it, or it doesn't seem to hit all the marks for you, get a hold of them. They'll give you a full refund. So there's really no risk involved at all. It's an amazing product. It's got a lot of vitamins and good for you stuff. It's got lion's mane and cordyceps and all kinds of nootropics that are easily absorbed, and they really do an amazing job. So please check out Magic Mind. I've just been thrilled to be working with this company. Again, I'm a full believer in what they're doing, and I know you're not going to be disappointed. I really believe that. And so I hope that you guys will check it out. Go to, again, www.magicmind.com/portaljan and give it a shot. But check it out. All right. Special thanks to Magic Mind for letting me be a part of what they're doing and for creating such an amazing product. I really love this stuff. So we got a lot to get to tonight. Obviously, Sheldon's going to be joining me very shortly. I don't know exactly when he'll come in the door, but he comes in as quick as he can. Obviously, he's been on the clock all day, and when he gets home, he rushes right in and joins us. So we'll be excited to have him join us today as we walk through the portal. And I hope you guys enjoy yourself and have a good time. But we are going to hit the news in moments here, and we're gonna get to a couple of UFO articles. I realize as I was sitting around planning for the show tonight, one of the things that I want to do more of on the show, and like every day we do the news and every day we do the cryptids, but we don't do a lot of UFO stuff. And I know I've brought that up in the past and I've kind of hit some and then I kind of fall away from it again, but I think I'm going to create a segment for the show that is like the UFO files. And it'll probably be before the cryptid corner and after the news somewhere in there. Or, maybe we'll alternate the UFO files with, strange news or strange phenomena files or whatever I name it. But I'm going to have more segments dealing with these various different things. Now, the news, we kind of hit a lot of different things. Sometimes it's science. Sometimes there's UFO stuff in there. Sometimes even, Bigfoot and ghosts and cryptids and stuff. But it's kind of a grab bag based on the day. How you doing, T-Bone? Good to see you. But I think I'm going to do a segment in every show dealing with the UFOs. So I hope you guys like that idea. You'll have to let me know. Steel City Stacker says, yeah, good idea. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Great to see you all. Freaky Geek, Wizard Moon, Rachel's here, John Temperin, Werewolf. Ooh, good to see you. And it's always great to see all you guys. Thank you so much for coming in. Isaac Ariola's in here. I'm just scrolling up. I know there's been a lot of chat. I was actually late starting the show tonight, so I apologize, but thank you all for your patience and for coming and joining me when I did finally get the ball rolling here. I do apologize. I don't ever usually start late like that, but God, I just lost my awareness of time for sure. So, looking Chad Votaw, Freaky Geeks in here. I saw Phil was in here too. Just scrolling up, Elaine Clifford. All right. Sorry, I'm just doing this. I'm doing this kind of cold. If I wasn't such an idiot, I would just go over to my other screen and do it kind of a more traditional way, which is what I'm going to do. So if you want, Nathan Nate, how you doing, man? If you want to shout out, just type something in the chat, and I'm going to just grab the participants list from YouTube. I don't know who's watching on X. We are streaming on X, YouTube, Rumble, and Twitch. And hello to Twitch if anybody's out there. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Patience, I'm a doctor. Let me at him. I like Ike's a doctor. Well, welcome, doctor. Let's get the participants list and actually go through it here. Who is it? Annie Manul is in here. Aussie Tiger, Elaine Clifford, Eric Fry, Freaky Geek is here. Grateful Owl is in here. Henry Dong's here. I like Ike, Isaac Areola, John Stevenson, John Temperin, Jordan Cogburn, Justin Goodearth, Kat Doherty, Nathan Nate, Neil S. Somebody just came in, and I don't know who it was. Was it Eric Fry? Was that you, Eric? And I'm here. Rachel gets it right. Shane Grove, Mr. From the Shadows podcast himself. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for coming in. He's one of the reasons I was late. I'm just saying. If you want to know, blame Shane. We got Steel City Stackers up in here. T-Bone. Werewolf is here. That's a new name to me, I think. And then Wizard Moon. So good to see you guys. I think there's probably a Germer lurking out there too. I'm just saying. Probably. Could be. But anyway, that's really cool. Thank you all for coming in. Those are people that are here right now. And there's more, but those are the people that are chatting. So, but yeah, check out From the Shadows podcast. Shane's is just a fantastic guy. Been a long time friend of mine personally. And does a hell of a show over there on From the Shadows. And they do the midweek howls and stuff. They do a lot of different shows on their YouTube channel. So head over there and get subscribed. Help him out. He does a phenomenal show. All right. Well, I guess we're going to hit the news and see just what the hell's going on in the world. Hopefully you find it informative, entertaining, and maybe you learn something you didn't already know. And other than that, what the hell? I've been blamed for a lot of things. That's true. You have, but yeah, go support Shane and what he's doing, guys. He's just a dear friend, and we've been chewing each other's ears for years on the back end of these shows, and he's been a wonderful supporter of what we're doing, and I love to support what he's doing as well. So help him out. All right, here we go. We're gonna hit the news and see just what the hell's going on, because I don't even know. I pulled up some stuff days ago, and I'm not even sure what I got for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, the news. For the news, ladies and gentlemen. I see we have a wild Sheldon Thomas came in the door. So we got that going for us as well.
Well. Someone was a little late, I see.
What are you, my mother?
Approximately 15-ish minutes late. What happened?
Actually, I think I fired it off at about 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes after, but it was close to 15. It was close enough. How you doing, buddy?
I am doing swell.
You're swelling? Swell?
I am. I am swell. You are very correct.
Dude, you're so swole. Well, it's good to see you. I hope you have had a good week, and welcome to the show, my boy. And I'm glad you could make it. Just wouldn't have
am here. I am well. It is Friday, like I say every Friday. I mean, you can't be mad on a Friday, matter what happens.
That's true. That's true. All right. Well, here we go. We are going to get into the news, ladies and gentlemen. And Sheldon, you're just in time for it to start. So maybe it's a good thing I started early.
I know, right?
Or
get to make it for a whole time. News.
Yeah, you don't miss anything now. Good to see you, Justin Goodearth, Barbara Mora, and Dog Digger and Big D over on Rumble. Great to see you guys. Thanks for coming in. And once again, anybody over on X, great to see you. Thanks for coming and being a part of the journey. Feel free to chat. It should show up on the screen here. We should be able to see you if you comment on the video as it's playing on X. Justin Goodearth went over there the other night, and we were able to see the comments come up. So I was really glad that integrated as well. So
oh, beautiful.
We don't miss the X crowd. We do miss the Twitch. There's nothing I can do about that, apparently. At least not that I figured out yet, but we're getting there. Bigfoot Michigan, Brent Thomas. Yeah, I was on Bigfoot Michigan Rob's channel earlier this week, and I put on a bandana and changed my name to Bigfoot Michigan Brent. It was pretty funny because he wears a bandana. It's called Bigfoot Michigan Rob. Arr. But anyway, yeah. Let's get to this. It is time for the news. The first thing I want to say to you guys is, remember, we utilize a lot of different sites on this show. We utilize a lot of different articles from different sites. So please support these sites. Please give them your love and your attention. They are doing an incredible job. And I really want to reinforce that it means a lot that you let them know that you see them, that you're helping to pay their bills. And you do that just by visiting their sites. Traffic equals revenue for a lot of site owners. And it can help keep the lights on. We don't want these sites to go anywhere, so please support them. And if you comment on their sites, let them know the portal sent you. I'd love for them to know that we're driving traffic to them because they are incredible.
Yeah.
All of these sites. Sorry, I'm still a little bit congested from the cold, but I'm almost back to normal already, Sheldon. Isn't that crazy?
Wait, say it again?
I'm almost back to normal now from my cold.
Oh, really?
That was quick. You know what it was? I've been telling everybody. Quick. You know what I think it was, honestly?
What?
Zinc. I got these zinc lozenges, and my God, I've never used them for a cold before, but I was like, everybody keeps saying zinc, so I'm going to try zinc, and my God, zinc. I like 2 days using the zinc, and all of a sudden it was just like, bing. I was almost back to myself. This was like Wednesday. I was like, wow, I feel like I can do a show. So that was cool.
Legitimately, it's true. I think it was 2 weeks ago when I was really sick with that flu.
Yeah.
I think it was that Saturday. That was like at the worst. Like it was at the worst point at that point. Took a zinc lozenges.
Did you just have a stroke?
Guess I'm still recovering. But yeah, then I was taking it that night, and then the next day I was like, oh, I think I'm feeling better. And I didn't take it that day because I'm like, all right, I'm on the up and up. And then I got really sick again. Then I took another zinc, and I was starting to feel better again. I swear. Yep. You just got to taking that zinc.
Just take it all the way through. Yeah, there is a lot of influenza going around. Jason Finch. In fact, Portal Mom got it. She had the influenza A and was hospitalized, but she's back home and is doing pretty good. So, but yeah, there's a lot of that going on. I don't know that that's what I was dealing with, but it was just suddenly I had a cold and suddenly it's gone with zinc. So definitely use the zinc. At least give it a shot. If you haven't already, give it a shot. But anyway, let's get to the news. The first article we're going to hit is from an amazing site called unexplained-mysteries.com. And this is, it has to do with extraterrestrials, which kind of fits in with the theme of the show tonight, because I got a few more extraterrestrial articles coming up later as well. But I don't even know what this phrase is. I've heard of Dyson spheres. And, well, Dyson spheres basically where they can encapsulate a sun with a artificial sphere and basically accumulate all of the energy of the sun, use it to 100%. So like there's no waste. Whether it's photosynthetic or whatever, or solar or however it's gleaned. It's a theoretical thing, but this is a new one. So I found this interesting. So I was like, yeah, we got to read this. And I still don't know what it's going to say, but here's the article. And it is Dyson trees could enable alien life and humans to live on a comet. I think we should move, Sheldon.
To a comet.
A comet, I guess, yeah. I don't know what this means, but it said, could comet-dwelling trees provide safe, habitable bubbles of life that travel through the cosmos? Don't those things break down over time? I mean, isn't that how that works? Like, comets are actually, like, generating exhaust from solar suns and stuff, and that's why they have the tail. Isn't
Oh,
isn't that right? Or do you not know?
well, I do not know, but
Okay.
that does sound right though. I mean, just
Right.
from what you're
I
stating.
think the suns kind of heat them up, and then they eject these gases and vapor of the ice water and stuff. And it's like, well, yeah, but you might be on a one way trip there. It's like, yeah, you're going to be fine until the whole thing just explodes or hits something. But
Eh,
anyway,
maybe got a couple generations of life,
yeah, well, might be more than we have here. Who knows? All right, good comma dwelling trees. All right, so I guess that's a Dyson tree. Let's see. Most people would be familiar with physicist Freeman Dyson's concept of a Dyson sphere, a theoretical artificial. God, it's contagious, Sheldon.
Artificial.
Thanks. Oh, now you're gonna dork on me. All right. Yeah, I was a little gentle with you, but
Artificial.
okay, just keep riding it. Get them while they're free, you little dick. Our artificial structure built around a star by an advanced alien civilization to harness its energy. But this wasn't the only idea of this kind that Dyson came up with. He also devised a much more obscure concept for something that became known as a Dyson tree. And this is essentially a large bioengineered tree-like organism that lives inside a comet, turning what would otherwise be a dead, inhospitable place into a habitable environment. Dyson envisioned that such trees could be sustained through the absorption of water from the comet itself and from the light from any stars that happen to be in the vicinity. Ice is better than rock as a basis for life, he wrote, while also noting that comets contain not only ice, but also most of the other chemical elements that are essential for biology. In effect, Dyson trees could create bubbles of life not tethered to any one place, but capable of traveling the stars almost like a form of biological spacecraft. People could live there too, free of planetary limitations. It is perhaps not outside the realms of possibility that there are comets such as these out there in space right now with members of an intelligent alien civilization living inside of them. Entire generations could live and die while safely cocooned within the comet's protective environment. Who knows, perhaps one day humans will be able to travel the stars in much the same way. I'm not going to sign up for that voyage.
Ever.
I think it's I've certainly heard the argument that you could take meteorites and such and engineer them as spacecraft because they are already robust enough to survive space and have done that, and so it could be possible to kind of core those out and create a living environment inside with technology and whatever, and that would be like the craft. You don't need to worry about aerodynamics obviously in space, so if it's just a oblong rock, well, that's fine. But I don't know about a comet, the whole ice thing, and you gotta consider, wouldn't that be freaking cold? I mean, like living in an igloo, or something.
Oh, yeah, it could be like an igloo though. Those are sustainable. Like it's not like you're melting the whole thing.
Right, sure. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know. There's a lot about living on a comet that I don't know.
I think it depends how big the comet is.
I guess if you have no choice, like, oh yeah, things are really going to hell here, we need to hitch a ride, then you grab onto a comet and just, roll the dice. But I don't know. That's a strange one.
Yeah.
I just never heard of the concept of living on a comet. But anyway, I don't know how many trees grow real well in ice anyway. So,
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Like, where's the soil? Where's the biological matter?
apparently it's there, is what they're saying, is that it's for that life. But it's still got you got a whole temperature thing. Like, yeah, they don't do real well in the winter. That's why they lose their leaves and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, that's the article, and I'm sticking to it. What do you guys think? Would you hitch a ride on a comet? With the thumb
Theories
out?
are so interesting because we're thinking about things that are hundreds or thousands of years in the future.
Yeah.
It's just wild. Like, well, these people will never know ever.
Sure. Yeah. Probably not. But yeah, it may never happen in our lifetimes, obviously. We got a long ways to go. But anyway.
Unless we crack immortality, unless it happens.
It's like, yeah, it's like we'll probably become immortal before we cure the common cold. You know, it's just the way it's going to work. It's like, yeah, you'll live forever, but you'll be miserable. You'll have these eternal colds. I can't believe a body can make so much snot. That's the part that just...
That's wild.
And why didn't I lose like 10 pounds of water weight just from all the snot I created? I don't even know.
I know.
It's so weird. Anyway, let's go to the next article. This one is also the UFO phenomena, but this one is apparently a video clip. So we'll check this one out, folks, and you can see what you think. This is from unexplained-mysteries.com. The UFO phenomena. Does this video clip corroborate whistleblowers' UFO retrieval claims?
Oh.
Huh. What the hell is that? Looks like a close-up of a leaf or something. All right, let's read it. The U.S. Air Force veteran has reportedly confirmed his involvement in retrieving alien technology. And we've heard a lot of rumors about secretive UFO retrieval programs in recent years. And now, according to reports, Jake Barber, a U.S. Air Force veteran who is contracted as a helicopter pilot, has claimed that he is personally involved in retrieving such objects on behalf of the U.S. government. Oof. Speaking to News Nation's Ross Coulthart, he described one particular incident in which he was tasked with retrieving a white egg-shaped craft that he believed was definitely not of human origin. Is that it? Looks like an egg on some lettuce. Anyway,
My brain can't process what it's trying to look at with that image.
I'm kind of running into the same thing. But let's see what it says. Just visually looking at the object on the ground, you could tell it was extraordinary and anomalous. He said, it was not human. Yeah, we don't usually look like eggs. It's like, can I have a human salad sandwich, please? What the hell? It's inconsistent with anything I'd ever seen before. I can also tell you that the reaction by my team, we all knew we were dealing with something extraordinary. Over the last couple of years, it's been confirmed to me by ranking members of the UAP task force that what we were working on with that night was in fact NHI. Oh, they got a new acronym, Sheldon. Non-human intelligence.
Oh God, of
NHI. Do you feel more worldly now?
No.
And it was not a unique experience. Well, there you go. Thank you, Timu, for all that crap I don't need. After the interview, News Nation actually reached out to the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO, the Pentagon's official UFO investigation branch, to ask them about what he'd said. AARO has not discovered any verifiable information to substantiate claims that any programs regarding the possession or reverse engineering of extraterrestrial materials have existed in the past or exist currently, Department of Defense spokesman Sue Gao replied. The story doesn't end there. However, as News Nation later obtained and published a remarkable video clip that shows a white egg-shaped object, just like that described by Barber, dangling in a sling beneath a helicopter during what is thought to be a UFO retrieval operation. Could this be evidence confirming what Barber said is true? You can check out the footage for yourself below. And by God, we are going to. From News Nation comes this video, folks. I don't know. Let's check it out. Let's have a look. You ready, Sheldon?
Yeah.
It still looks like a salad with an egg floating over it, but let's see. Maybe in motion it'll make more sense. Let's have a peek.
News Nation has independently obtained...
Oh, that's Ross Coulthart. Okay. I knew I recognized that name, but now I see his face. It's like, oh yeah, that guy.
Previously
come on, what the hell? There we go. Thank you.
Video obtained from a secret UAP craft retrieval program. This extraordinary footage clearly shows an egg-shaped object dangling in a sling below the belly of a helicopter.
Okay. Oh. Well, you can see this really big rope and then some grass. I mean, what?
I see now.
Let's slow this down to...
Where's anybody, though? If they're lowering this thing to the ground, where's anybody? Wouldn't they have, like, just tons of people and equipment ready to go? Or would they just lob this thing on the dirt somewhere? I mean, you know what I mean?
Back.
Yeah, let's just throw it here. What the hell? They'll come pick it up.
To take a closer look. That's an egg-shaped UAP
Well, we don't know that, Ross. We just know it's an egg-shaped something.
suspended from a 150-foot long line. We're told the craft is about 20 feet long.
20 feet long. Yeah, I know they're setting something down, but
The egg
I don't know that this is definitive.
suspended in a cradle. And look how careful the pilot is as they bring their precious cargo into land.
It's rolling. They're not that careful. I mean, it hit the dirt and it's starting to roll. This is when I'm thinking careful. That's not how it works. I'm being kind of a dick about it, but we're being asked to take a real leap of faith here that what we're looking at isn't just some kid with some string and an egg in a little lettuce hammock over some grass. You know, I mean, we don't know where this came from.
Let's freeze frame here to look at one of the clearest images of a UAP ever taken. This is no blurry light in a distant sky. The source
He's really selling this, isn't he? I mean, he's all in on this being.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's like, yeah, this is gonna go viral. This is gonna go viral. But I mean, it could be. It could be just some kid with some yarn and an egg and you know what I mean?
Edited video, yeah.
I mean,
Forced perspective, yeah.
you can't even see rotor wash or anything on this dirt. I mean, on the grass, you're not seeing rotor wash from you ever see like when a helicopter's coming down, the grass is like just going wacky,
Oh, it's going nuts.
Yeah, it's like you can see the waves of the downdraft just pushing all the grass around, but I'm not seeing that.
of the footage putting themselves at incredible.
Let's go back
their
to where.
precious cargo. Cargo.
Okay, Ross, come on. I'm trying to move your video a little bit. Your precious cargo.
To land. Let's freeze frame.
Yeah, there's no
here
rotor
to look
wash at
one
all
of the clearest images
on that
of
grass.
a UAP ever taken. This is no blurry light in a distant sky. The source of the footage
That's true. It's an egg.
putting themselves at incredible risk to record this UAP retrieval. Look at how perfectly smooth the craft is. No
Just like an egg.
markings at all, and no visible means of propulsion or way to see
Except the leaf hammock.
inside. Watch how it rolls, almost graceful.
Because it's round. This is like physics.
As it hits the ground, despite being wrapped in the ropes and canvas from the cradle as it's dropped for pickup. The UAP's final destination still unknown.
Look at that dirt. Look at the grass, though. It's not moving. There's no motion.
It might not be grass, to be fair. I mean, that's night vision they're using.
What?
Isn't that night vision? That
I mean,
using?
it
That's
could
why
be,
everything's
but
green.
I mean, it sure could be. But even then, what are they putting it down on? I mean, if this is a retrieval, are they just dumping it on some turf somewhere? Or where's the collection team?
I mean, the one thing I will say is that there's a light source. See the shadow?
Yeah.
And I doubt it's the sun because they're using night vision. So that could mean that there's a truck and like people like without a frame.
Yeah, but wouldn't you think that would be right there? If this is the one of the kind UAP recovery, I mean, you'd think there would be people down there with like guide poles and stuff and cushion or something, but they're just rolling it on the dirt or whatever this turf is, But I don't know. I'm just not sold that this is definitive proof of a recovery of an egg-shaped craft.
Of an egg. It's recovery of an egg, that's
It
for
is.
sure.
It is recovery of an egg. I'll give them that. But I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys got to let me know. Let me know.
It
Wizard
is a little
Moon.
weird. It is weird.
What do you guys think? Give me a 1 in chat if you think this is really something spectacular, or give me a big 0 if you think this is a turd being sold as a A moon pie.
It's,
I don't know.
more footage.
I
This
just
is
don't
one
buy that.
perspective.
This would be the find of the century in the fact that they're just dropping it on the ground and watching it roll without anybody down there to guide it. Just seems like, yeah, they should get the narrator from the Animal Planet to tell us about the migrations.
I'm seeing nothing but zeros. Nobody's buying
Yeah,
it.
nobody's into this. Okay, so it's not just me then, guys, right? That's what I'm wondering. Yeah.
I'm trying to give it benefit of the doubt, but I do see a lot of the points. Yeah.
I would love for this to be legitimate, but this could be, I mean, it could be anything. It could be a water balloon in a kid's science project. We don't know. I mean, really,
Yeah.
it could be anything. So this is certainly not definitive proof. In my opinion, it looks like an egg on a putt-putt mini golf course. There you go,
Yeah.
Jerry. Exactly. Dinosaur egg, Barbara Morris says. Yeah, maybe it's a cryptid egg. I don't know.
The thing I can't, like, they're saying that's 20 feet long. I mean, that's really freaking long. That's, I mean, isn't that longer than my ceiling, I guess?
Well,
So,
it would be bigger.
And
than
what
your
I'm
ceiling.
looking at, it doesn't look like it's that huge. I
No,
don't know.
and if that's only 150 feet of rope, it gets pretty tiny at the end. I don't know what they're using. Like, I don't know. There's just no way this is definitive proof of a crash recovery. It's just somebody with an ambiguous video saying, yeah, this is a leak. And, it's just, could it be? I don't know. I guess it's possible. But whatever they're presenting here does not sell me on this. Weather balloon. Yeah, there you go. Chad C says weather balloon. Could be. Could be. Yeah, very cool. Bim Jim. What did you say, Bim Jim? I saw your name pop up. Everything flew by all of a sudden. That image has no value. Amen. Amen, Bim Jim. And I'm not meaning to be, like a negative person here, but you can't sell this and say, hey guys, look, this proves that this video could very well be from that guy picking up egg shape because he said so, and this video said so. It's still not proof.
Yeah.
It's ambiguous at best. Yeah, I don't know. Incredibly. So, okay, we're all on the same page. I appreciate your guys' input. I think it's bunky as well, but what the hell? You saw it here. We went over it. I got nothing. I just don't believe for a minute that they're just dropping this once in a lifetime discovery and they're just lobbing it on the ground to roll around. It's like, okay. Well, there you have it. That's now apparently wherever this egg was found, there's a naked dude with a coffin-shaped box. What does that mean, Freaky? What is a naked dude with in a coffin-shaped box?
Is that a reference?
I don't know. I don't know, buddy. That went right over my head. I'm not sure where we're going with that one. But maybe you're right.
I don't know.
You're going to have to break that one down for me, man. I'm a little slow out of the gate. Grandizer, they have to reach at this point. There's news is drying up. Yeah, you're probably right, actually. But it's a pretty bold claim for them to say, well, this is it, Ross Coulthart. I like Ross Coulthart just fine, and I've enjoyed his work and what he's covered, but this is a stretch. This is a big stretch, and he's trying hard. He's all in trying to sell this as the big video.
His voice is all like, oh, look at this.
And you can see the care that they're taking. It's like, yeah, well, no, I can't. I can't even see for sure what I'm looking at. So
I'll admit, I really want it to be true, but it's just, it
it'd
does
be
look
cool.
weird.
I mean, I do believe this stuff goes on. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think this is evidence of it. I don't think that this is it.
I can believe it's a reenactment of something that happened.
Some like third grader science fair project or trying to talk about physics. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, there it is, folks. We've seen it. You've seen it. The jury has spoken. We think it's bunk. Debunked. Nope, wrong one. There we go.
The other one kind of works too.
Not UFO. Not UFO. Okay, well, let's go to the next and last article in the news tonight here on the portal. And this one is space and astronomy. So I have no idea if this one's going to be really big and busy or what. I haven't even read it. Oh, God, it's pretty big. It's too big. Too big for the portal news. I'm going to have to close that one and grab a new one. Yeah, this is a huge article. It's talking about what does it say? That timescape model. What if dark energy doesn't actually exist? I don't know what the hell I was thinking. That wouldn't be that fun to read anyway. Whoops.
Dark energy?
Yeah, what if it doesn't exist?
What?
Okay.
Dark matter?
Dark energy. I don't know.
Or
Dark matter.
Oh, that's
Maybe it's the same. I don't know. Well, dark matter, dark energy, antimatter. Maybe it's all the same. Here we go. This one is brand new. Oh, maybe we should do this one. No, that one's probably big. I'm just looking. That one we covered. Okay. All right, here we go. We'll do the other ones tomorrow night on the show. I should be joined by Tex Wesson on tomorrow night's show. I'm just waiting for this to catch up with me. Sorry for any lag, folks. You might be getting lag spikes as my computer tries to accommodate my greedy needs. All right, here we go. Whoops, I had it open and then I did it. Okay, this one's coming from the UFO Phenomena Files again on unexplained-mysteries.com. And I don't know what this one's alluding to. I just saw the headline now and I was like, yeah, let's talk about this. So let's talk about this, ladies and gentlemen, from unexplained-mysteries.com. Comes the last article of tonight. The UFO Phenomena Unprecedented UFO Documentary was filmed in secret over 2 years. Oh. This is apparently a still from the film's trailer. See below. Okay. Is it called The Age of Disclosure? YouTube/The Age of Disclosure. Cool. All right. A new documentary into the UFO phenomena will feature interviews with 34 current and former U.S. government officials. Created by filmmaker Dan Farah, The Age of Disclosure is described as an unprecedented and revelatory film that delves deep into the subject of UFOs, alien visitation, and government cover-ups. It will include interviews with 34 current and former members of the U.S. military and intelligence communities, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio, New York Senator Kristen Gillibrand, and former Director of National Intelligence General Jim Clapper. Other prominent individuals featured include former Department of Defense official Christopher Mellon and Luis Elizondo of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, or ATIP. The film was granted unprecedented access and support from senior members of the U.S. government, military, and intelligence community, the official synopsis reads. Everyone interviewed in the film has direct knowledge of UAP. As a result of their work for the U.S. government, the film exposes the profound impact the situation has on the future of humanity, while providing a look behind the scenes with some of those at the forefront of the bipartisan disclosure effort. According to reports, the documentary was actually made in secret over 2 years, perhaps in fear of attracting the wrong kind of attention from those who might want to stop it from seeing the light of day. While a distributor of the film is still being sought, it is set to premiere at the South by Southwest Film Festival in March. You can check out the official trailer below. And I'd love to show it, but I know it's going to have music, and I'm going to get spanked if I do that. So I'm going to put a link for this article in the chats, and you guys can check it out at your leisure. All right, there we go. And once again, over here in Rumble, there you go. There's the link. If you guys want to check it out, you can watch the Age of Disclosure trailer below. And yeah, I mean, it sounds like it'll be cool, but they're still looking for a distributor for it. It'll probably appear on Prime or Netflix eventually. But for now,
I'm excited. That's
yeah,
awesome.
It might be interesting. I mean, it might just be a bunch of, diversionary fluff by government officials. It might be really revelatory. I don't know. It's hard to say. But I never really get my hopes up too much when it says, oh, we interviewed these government officials. Like, yeah, okay, that's a dead end. Obviously, government officials are not known for their transparency or forthcoming efforts to bring this stuff to light. Unfortunately. So
Yeah, I know. What is with that? My Lord.
Well, it's, any number of reasons. I mean, honestly, knowledge is power, right? So If you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the power. And we don't have the knowledge. We have the belief. We have the efforts and the willingness, but we don't have the knowledge. We don't know what the hell they've been up to. Hey, Bill Simone's over there on X. I'm on X for the first time. Welcome, Bill. Thank you for checking out the show over there. I appreciate it. That really means a lot. Just
welcome.
Smoked a bone, UFO, be real. The OG said, just smoked a bone, UFO, be real.
Wait, what? Huh?
Is he barbecuing? Is that what he means? I don't think that's what you mean, the OG. I think I know exactly what you mean. And just use responsibly. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes.
All right. Well, there you go. That was the news. Hopefully you guys picked up something that was worthwhile or at least had a good time with it. Got to watch a orb, egg-shaped video, egg-shaped craft retrieval. Or somebody working on some chicken salad or egg salad sandwiches. I'm not sure what we watched there, but it was either UFO retrieval or it was a clip from the Food Network. One of the two. Anyway, Come on, that was kind of funny, right? Nothing? Come on. Tough crowd, I tell you. God. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for the news, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get back to the rest of the show because, my God, there's so much more. Watching Paranormal Portal on Blue Sky. What is Blue Sky, Grandizer? I don't even know what that is. Let me know in the chat. I don't know what that means. But it's cool if we're there. All right, let's get back to the rest of the show. Crap retrieval. I didn't say that, mate. Don't put words in my mouth.
Blue Sky is like a Twitter, basically. It's another social media platform.
Oh, it is. Oh, very cool. Very cool. How the hell are we on Blue Sky?
I have no idea.
I don't know either. Hold on.
Just look it up.
Yeah, look it up. I don't know. I don't know that I have a Blue Sky profile over there, but I didn't know I was streaming there.
I don't see you at all.
Yeah.
How are you doing that?
Yeah, how are you doing that, Grandizer? I want to know. I mean, it's great. I'm not opposed to it. If we're on another platform, that's fantastic. I just don't know how we got there. I'm happy for the exposure, though, believe me.
Yeah.
Sheldon?
Yes?
I'm going to go to you on the full camera here because I got to mute and actually blow my horn.
Blow your horn, huh? What does that mean? Oh, he's got to blow his nose. Okay.
What did you think I was talking about, you weirdie? It wasn't like code for something terrible.
I don't remember ever hearing that before.
No, I think I just made it up, but either way, I was just like, ooh.
Blue Sky is from the creators of Twitter, Rachel says.
Oh, yeah, but how are we over there? He was asking. Okay, no. That is a no then, I guess. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm not on Blue Sky that I know of. I mean, anything's possible moving into the future, but so far we're just on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Twitch. I'm going to expand this to Facebook in the coming days as soon as I can and do a test stream over there just to see that it works or if it works. And what? What'd you say?
I'm sorry. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm so confused what the point is. It's like literally Twitter.
Oh,
it's like it's the same kind of setup. I'm so confused what the point is.
Was that made by Jack Dorsey or something? Is that like his next project to just recreate his last one? Is that what the plan is there?
I don't know. I
figured with the somewhat exodus to Blue Sky that you opened up a channel there. I haven't exodus to anywhere.
No.
The only reason we're streaming on X is because I did the what the hell they call it, where you get the blue check mark. I just did that. And so it's a subscription, but I just figured, well, there's a lot of people over there and it's another opportunity to expand people's awareness of what we're doing over here. So I just figured, why not? And it's not so expensive. Blue Sky is open source, says Rachel. Okay, gotcha.
Oh.
Well,
What does
very
that mean?
cool. Open source just means it's not like a proprietary thing. It's like open source means it's basically created by a lot of different people. It's not just one company and their, secret algorithms or whatever. It's open source, kind of like Firefox is an open source browser, where it's being developed by a lot of volunteers and other people coming together to create, like Firefox.
Oh,
so,
like Wikipedia. Kind of
like
thing.
Wikipedia would be kind of an open source, yeah. And
Gotcha.
Exodufromix. Some didn't care for how the direction that channel was going. Yeah, well, I mean, to each their own. I'm certainly fine with the show being as many possible locations as it can be. It's just I'm usually way behind the wheel behind the ball on these, in terms of like I'm never one to just jump and do something. Like we've been on BitChute forever. There's a BitChute channel for the Paranormal Portal, and honestly, I haven't even looked at it in years, or at least a year. But I know it's out there. I know it. I still get email notifications once in a while about it. So I guess we're not dead in the water there. But yeah, I'll be sticking with X for sure. I mean, I like Elon. I like what he does. So and wherever you fall on the political spectrum, it's up to you. I mean, I don't get involved on that here on the show, and it's not the scope of the shows, but you got to follow your heart. Bill, Simone, Brent, I mentioned you in the Paranormal Portal in my new book that was released today. Oh, thank you, Bill.
Wow.
Bill Simone has been he's been a guest a couple of times on the podcast, and we had a great talk. He's got some pretty fascinating experiences. So if you haven't heard those, go check him out. And Bill is an author. He's got, a couple books now out there. And this will be his newest one. I think it's 2 now that he's published. So check out Bill and check out those episodes to learn how to find Bill's books. But Bill's a wonderful guy. And you can check the podcast playlist here on YouTube or on all of the podcasting platforms or Spotify, or check the video podcast playlist here on YouTube, and you can watch Bill and I having our chats. He's a good guy. I like Bill. All right. Excuse me. All right. But now we are going to get to a couple of articles that I wanted to break into. A lot of times on the show, as you well know, those of you that have been with me for a while, we use phantoms and monsters as a source for a lot of different topics. Lon has a real robust selection of materials that he covers on phantomsandmonsters.com, and he put up a couple of articles that I want to get into. But before we do that, I'm going to actually visit Sasquatch Chronicles first, because Wes posted a neat story, and I'm not sure exactly how to qualify this one, but we'll get into it. And this is a story about, and we'll get back into Sasquatch Chronicles for the cryptids, but this is coming from Sasquatch Chronicles blog from January 22nd, mountain lion that forced a school into lockdown.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, how about that? And this happened in Washington State. It's a short little article. Won't take long, but let's check this out. And this is here. A mountain lion that forced a school into lockdown. A Walk to Remember writes, Goff Elementary School in Moses Lake, Washington went viral for an unforgettable wildlife scare. On a seemingly normal Tuesday morning, reports of a mountain lion near the school led officials to impose an immediate lockdown to protect students and staff. However, the alleged predator turned out to be something far less dangerous. A fat cat feasting on a rat. Look at the cat. Look at that picture.
How do you get that mixed up?
How do you? But you've been a real fat cat. Was that Garfield? Jesus, that thing is huge. Look at that chonker. Holy Christ. Wow. So they put a school on lockdown because there was a cat eating a rat. They might want to really push their biology agenda over there in Goff Lake or whatever the hell that place is called.
None of them have ever seen a mountain lion before. Oh my Lord. How do you get those mixed? I know he's fat, but oh my God, that's such a difference.
Mountain lion that made school go into lockdown turned out to be a fat cat. Washington's diverse landscapes make it a natural home for mountain lions, so the school took no chances when the sighting was reported. As Claren McLaughlin, the school's communications officer, noted, this was the first report of its kind, and they acted swiftly to ensure everyone's safety. After confirming the mountain lion was just a plump cat, the lockdown was lifted and classes resumed, leaving the community with a mix of relief and laughter. Social media couldn't get enough of the story, with comments ranging from disbelief that an overweight cat could catch a rat to wild jokes about the cat defeating the mountain lion. Maybe it ate it. One parent shared that their kids found the incident hilarious, while another commentator recounted a similar childhood experience where wolves turned out to be a golden retriever. Oh, dear God.
Okay, come on.
Wow.
How do you get that one mixed up?
We saw these weird golden wolf. Yeah, some people need to probably sit down and watch the Discovery Channel every once in a while just to get a little refresher on some of their local fauna, for Christ's sake. That's terrible. How in the world can you confuse a house cat with a mountain lion?
Man, if that cat's a mountain lion, I'm a bear.
Yeah, I'm just saying, that's pretty freaking crazy. So there you go, folks. I don't know if you ever heard of that one before, but you're welcome. Thanks, Wes. I don't think I'm pretty sure I never heard of that one before. When did this happen? It's like, oh my God, they don't really put a date on it, but it's got to be
too embarrassed to, I imagine.
Yeah. Could you imagine having to be the spokesman for the school and just walk that one back?
Oh,
I was like, I mean, you gotta give, tip the hat that they were looking out for the kids and they did the right thing. I mean, if you get a report of something like that around, hell yeah. I mean, we get reports up here about the moose. If the moose is anywhere near the school, the students don't get to go outside. Well, that makes sense. It just sits out in my lawn and eats my plum tree, but it makes the rounds. But if there's a mountain lion out there, that's scary, especially for kids, because they would certainly be pretty attractive prey for something like this. But how do you get from this giant thing on a rock to Garfield over here cuddling up on a bench? It's like,
I can't imagine being the person who made that call, being like, oh, there's a mountain lion in the school.
Oh yeah, you imagine that one? I mean, you suppose it was a prank? Do you think it was just a prank?
It could be kids who made that.
Yeah, maybe they were just trolling, just like kids do. It's like, it's a mountain lion. Look at that fat thing. It must be a mountain lion.
If it's an adult, they should be embarrassed. If it's children, good job.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Wow. And thank you for the gifted memberships. What happened here? Who did it?
T-Bone.
T-Bone showed up. Woo.
Hey.
Thank you very much. Jordan Cogburn got one. Scott J got one. Rock and Rory got one. Hey, Rock and Rory, that's a cool name. Tommy V got one, and Mark D. So congratulations to you guys, and special thanks to T-Bone for representing, brother. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. But yeah, that's not your average story, is it?
That is unique. Very good find, Wes. Very good find.
That's so hilarious. Yeah, you and I were chatting about it. He's like, oh, you got to check out that story. I'm like, dude, I saw the headline. I was going to read it on Friday. I didn't realize that it was this ridiculous. I just saw that there was a mountain lion closed school. I'm like, ooh, that sounds pretty good. We should probably cover that. I was thinking, well, it kind of relates to a cryptid sighting because, certainly terrifying. But yeah, that's a whole different spin than I was expecting. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, there you go.
It is a paranormal instance in a way.
It's paranormal how somebody thought that was a mountain lion.
Exactly.
I think the first thing they should do is go visit their optometrist, and then before they start making more phone calls. Jeez, that's terrifying. Terrifying stuff. Well, there you go.
Rachel's someone who started medicated eye drops that day.
Yeah, no kidding. The ones that dilate your eyes so like everything looks enormous. Oh, Christ. Look at that squirrel. Yeah. It's like, wow. Yeah, maybe they just came from their appointment and they still had big eyeballs. But you never know. That's creepy.
Wild.
Creepy,
Just
crazy, funny
wild.
stuff. But you probably didn't hear that before.
No, absolutely not.
All right, so there's a couple other articles here. Which one are we going to get to next? This is a UFO one. That's a UFO one. And this is... I think we're going to get into this one from Phantoms and Monsters. This one's a black-eyed children and adult encounters. And it's from January 23rd, so it's really new on phantomsandmonsters.com. Again, Lon Strickler's site. Check it out. Lon just streamed a little bit ago. I didn't have a chance to watch it because I was tied up with other things and missing time, so I was late for my own show. But do check out Lon's channel. It is Phantoms and Monsters Radio on YouTube. Definitely support him, give him your love, and give him a subscription, and check out his live streams. Lon's a fantastic guy, and special thanks for letting us use his site as part of the Paranormal Portal. I really appreciate it. All right, here we go. This is the article from phantomsandmonsters.com. So this is definitely not, I mean, really, black-eyed kids could be extraterrestrial as well. It's any guess what they are. I kind of presume, or I lean towards them being something demonic or nefarious, energetic type of presence, spirit, entity, something. I don't know what the hell they are, but they are creepy, and oddly enough, they need permission, which is such a strange thing. And what that does to me, what it represents to me is that perhaps we are a lot more empowered than we think we are. And that maybe in a lot of this strange stuff, we do either give express or implied permission for these things to bother us. Maybe it's by going out looking for ghosts. Maybe it's by playing with Ouija boards or other stupid stuff. Any number of things. Or maybe it's just by allowing yourself to succumb to your own fear of something. Maybe that's a permission. But these black-eyed kids can't come in unless you allow them. And
Black-eyed adults, that's a thing.
It is. It's more rare, but it does come up. So you're not late. Your show starts when you get here. You're right, Phil. Way to represent, Phil. I appreciate that. All right, black-eyed children and adult encounters. A few very interesting black-eyed people encounter reports included a favorite encounter as well. Are these human, alien humanoids, or something else? Well, I kind of went over what I think they are, but anyway, I don't know. My ideas are no more valid than anyone else's. Black-eyed kids in Louisiana is the first one. A person emailed Dave Schrader, who is also a friend of mine. Dave's a great guy, about something bizarre they saw a few years ago while working at an out-of-the-way gas station. Well, it was about 3 years ago, November 2012, when I was working at a small gas station in northeast Louisiana. We were only a small shop and 24-hour service station in Miles, just off the highway. I worked the night shift, and I loved it. The sharing of stories with the traveling customers, and that's when the rare customer showed up. It must have been around 3 a.m., which is always a bad time for things to show up. It is. Paranormal investigators always talk about 3 a.m. being that's the hot time. That's when things really start winding up. Not always, but pretty consistently. I was cleaning the floors and locking the beer coolers when suddenly the lights went out. I think I've heard this one before and possibly shared it on the show before, but I pulled out my cell and used it as a guiding light, and I made it back to our counter where I kicked on the gas generator. Well, it lit the parking lot, the bath, and the hall leading to the register. And when I looked outside, I could just make out the movement of the trees across the street, but otherwise it was pitch black. Well, I turned on the radio and started listening to the local station with its night owl DJ commenting on the heavy winds and cracking jokes between songs. And suddenly, I saw some figures in the dark. I could just make them out, and they seemed to be a group of kids on bikes. And there were 3 of them. 2 of them dropped their bikes and make their way to the door, where they just stood there, staring at me. I just stared back for a moment, waiting for them to come in, and they never did. I moved around the counter and opened the door and said, "What's up, guys? Out kind of late, aren't you?" I asked them, expecting them to just come in. "Can we use your phone?" one asked, their heads tilted kind of low. I felt a little worried as I pulled up my cell from my pocket and offered it to her. "Sure." She looked at me, and then I saw her eyes, and they were solid black, almost like ink-filled orbs. "No, I need the real one," she said, her face twisted into an angry snarl. I pulled the door closed and flipped the locks. No, ma'am. You go home and get your mom's phone." Well, they stared at me through the door for a minute longer before turning away and biking off. The next day, I had my boss check the cameras to get the pictures of the creepy kids, but the cameras had been off the whole time. Now the cameras run off the generator instead of the hall lights, and I never saw those kids again. And the source of that is Darkness Radio, September 3rd, 2015. Thank you, Karen. She remembered.
Hey, Karen, welcome back.
Thank you, Karen, for remembering. Very good. Little pull of water there. All right, the next one up is a black-eyed woman at the seminar. So this says woman, so it's not a kid now, Sheldon.
Oh.
All right, here it goes. It happened in the mid-'80s. I was involved in a seminar for what later I learned was a New Age cult type of deal. Well, I got out of there. Happy. What the hell does that mean? I got out of there happy. Okay. I don't know. That's a weird narrative. But anyway, I just read it like I see it. But what happened was after you would complete a session, the instructor would walk in front of you and ask you their catchphrase, which was, do you got it? And this gal was about 30 years old, and she stood in front of me. I looked at her, and I did not see any whites in her eyes. The thing that really struck me was the ceiling was only 10 feet high, and it had a lot of fluorescent lighting in there. I did not see the reflection even from the lighting, and it was absolutely disturbing. I was in printing for years. I really know how to pay attention to detail, and it just absolutely freaked me out. Well, I was done at that point. It was just a very calm demeanor about her, but the eyes. You know, guys, I'll never forget it. And that source is also from Darkness Radio, September 3rd, 2015. Wow. Again, from Dave Schrader. The other thing, you know, I know that a lot of times our media and entertainment media does a real disservice to in any kind of accuracy to actual phenomena versus what they portray. But I got to tell you, the one thing that does come up with potentially demonic possession is that eyes change. Sometimes they go all black. And that was depicted on Supernatural, the TV show, which I used to love. I used to love that show. It was campy as hell, but I loved it. I had a great time watching that. But one of the things that, you know, when they were dealing with a demon, they could just go, burn, and their eyes would be black. And it's like, yeah, that's actually reported. I've heard several stories through the years of people seeing these strange people or very, very unnaturally attractive people that they were attracted to. And then they look at them and suddenly their eyes would go all black. And it's like, oh, God, oh. And another thing is the changing of the eyes to more like snake eyes, like a lizard type of pupil with the, you know, like a cat or something. And that comes up as well in demonic cases. So yeah, I love Supernatural too. Cat Doherty, I appreciate you have good taste. But it was a fun show. A lot of what they you know claimed in dealing with this stuff was not real accurate, but it was still fun. I mean, you can't watch shows like that or like Buffy the Vampire Slayer or anything and think, okay, well, I got you now. I got it all sorted out. I had one guy, and this is, you know, this is probably not even professional of me, but he was in the chat and he was kind of coming off as a know-it-all. Oh. And he claimed to know about everything that I would discuss. He knew all about it. Could tell you all day long. But one time we were talking about demon stuff. He goes, demon, I'd never worry about a demon. I'd just do a level 3 elevator spell and it'd be over.
What?
And I was like, oh my God, it triggered a memory. It's like, that's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This guy is like getting his material from Buffy. That's how, and I was like, oh no. So I made it a point on that show to go, yeah, you probably don't want to look at like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and think that you're ready to battle the darkness, That's probably not the good source for your planning. I was like, I heard that. I was like, oh no. I loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer too. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't enjoy those shows for what they are, but just don't look at them as, informative for understanding of the strangeness that it's all around us. So
I mean, it's like watching an action movie and then saying you're ready to go to war.
Yeah, that's right. I watched all Rambo. I'm ready. Yep. I watched Black Hawk Down. I'm ready to be a SEAL or Special Forces. I'm going to be Delta. Yep, Delta. Anyway, here's another one. Black-eyed kid encounter in Fulton County, Pennsylvania. I received the following email in June 2014. Very creepy. Well, I came across your BAK post after searching the internet. My husband and I had a weird encounter with what I believe to be a BEK this past winter. It was the day after Christmas 2013, and we decided to get out of the house and just take a walk. Well, we enjoy walking the trails at Cowan's Gap State Park here in Fulton County, Pennsylvania. And it wasn't too cold, so we decided to take the short drive to the park. The park is void of people in the winter unless there's a snow for skiers and ice skaters to be on the lake, but we were alone. At least we thought we were alone. We were walking on a trail that passes several of the rental cabins. And after a while, we took a short break and sat down at a picnic table located at a cabin pavilion. We were discussing how quiet it was when I noticed 4 children were walking towards us. And as they approached, I noticed that their eyes, especially the taller, older boy, were very dark with large irises. And there was, I believe, 2 boys and 2 girls of various ages. And all 4 of them wore light jackets. When they reached us, the older boy asked, "Do you live here?" My husband answered, "No, this is a rental cabin." There was no reaction. And one of the girls, who was very pale, reached into her jacket pocket and pulled out a pack of cigarettes and lit one. The girl was no older than 10 years. My husband asked her, "Aren't you a little too young to smoke?" The girl looked at him, and I swear, her eyes got darker and larger. And she gave him a scowl that he and I remember for the remainder of our lives. It was so vile and foreboding. I was immediately scared, and then they turned on a dime and together and started to walk away. I was speechless and just shaking, and my husband said, "Let's go." We briskly walked in the opposite direction towards the car, and I was still very frightened and wanted to go straight home. We pulled out onto Ogwick Road and headed east towards home, which is only a half mile or so from the park. Well, a few days later, we were driving to Chambersburg to do some shopping, and we needed to first stop at the post office in Fort Loudon to mail a few packages. My husband walked into the post office while I sat in the car, and after a few minutes, I noticed the same 4 kids walking through the post office parking lot. Just seeing them sent chills up and down my spine. When my husband returned to the car, I told him what happened, and that I wanted to go home immediately. Since that time, I've suffered terrible episodes of anxiety and fear. My doctor has prescribed medication, but I still panic that I'll encounter those kids again. Can you suggest some recourse? I'd like to discuss this with you. That's by LD. And here's Lon's note. LD asked that I contact her and discuss the encounters, and we've been talking through Skype for the past few days, and I received her permission to publish her original email, but wishes to remain anonymous. This couple is very protective of their privacy, but just desperate for answers. She would like to know if others in her area may have seen these BEK. She does seem concerned that these children are out and about on their own, but is still fearful that she may encounter them again. I've made inquiries to the local police, but they are unwilling to discuss it with me. That's from Lon. Wow. there you have it.
Oh,
That's a lot creepy.
very.
Yeah. I mean, 10-year-old kid smoking. I'd ask the same thing. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Where's your parents? What the hell? Yeah. Anyway, that's the story, and we're sticking to it. We're going to go on to the next one from Phantoms and Monsters. Now we're going to dial into the UFO phenomenon a little bit. This is the Tonopah alien incident. Did it really occur? Now I got to be fully transparent here. I don't know it sounds familiar. Like I've heard of the Tonopah alien incident before, but I don't recall what it is. So we're going to be getting it together. I don't know what it means, but anyway. All right, here we go. The following report concerns alien contact and possible MIB encounter, and it was submitted to New Force, and it occurred near Tonopah, Arizona on July 1st, 2009 at approximately 10:30 p.m. The area is in western Maricopa County, Arizona, approximately 50 miles west of downtown Phoenix off Interstate 10. The community of Tonopah is near the Palo Verde nuclear generating station, the largest nuclear power plant in the country. And there have been considerable UFO alien accounts from this general area, including rumors that a deep underground facility is nearby. Yep, the deep underground military bases, maybe?
Yep.
While in the desert near Palo Verde nuclear plant, the main witness and some friends saw a very large triangle-shaped UFO. And they were driving down a dirt road and saw a bright flashing light. And they'd seen objects in the area before, and their intentions were to look for UFOs. According to the witnesses, people that live in this area have been chased in their cars and have seen objects on a regular basis. They went off-road behind some mountains, and no sooner had they come around the mountain when they saw the large flashing light. All of them were scared, but at the same time, they were curious. The main witness's friend's girlfriend was crying and just telling them to turn around. And they got within 200 to 300 yards from the light, and it was the size of 3 football fields, triangular in shape, and had windows around it. And it was about 3 stories tall and about 30 feet off the ground. Well, they flashed their lights, and it flashed back. Yeah, yeah, you know they're paying attention to you at that point. They've seen you at that point. You can be pretty sure. Yeah. And the same sequence as the flashes. The main witness and his friend James got out of their car and walked closer. The closer they got, the better they could make out what was standing in the windows. They could see small, big-headed aliens. And then 7 to 9 foot tall aliens. And they based this on the size of the windows. Some of the windows they could see through, and the other windows were dark. But then the dark windows cleared up one by one, and as they went clear, more and more aliens appeared in the windows. James was supposedly videotaping the whole time. The main witness was terrified but excited at the same time. Well, they walked closer and had to stop because the heat coming from the craft was just so intense. The craft hovered and then landed. A large panel at the bottom of the craft opened and 2 aliens proceeded to walk out. This absolutely terrified the witnesses, but they couldn't move or talk. The main witness remembers trying to scream and run, but they couldn't move or talk. The 2 others in the car honking the horn and screaming for them to come back, but they couldn't respond or move. The aliens walked up to within 20 feet of them. One of them was very thin and tall, about 8 to 9 feet, and the other one was about 3 to 4 feet tall. The witnesses stood there in amazement, shocked because they couldn't move or speak. We've covered that like 3 times now. The calmness came over them, and the aliens began speaking to them telepathically. They were saying not to be scared, that they were not going to harm them. This conversation went on between the 4 of them for about 15 to 20 minutes. That's a long time to be talking. They said they were here to help us so that we would not destroy our planet, and that there was a horrible event coming soon, that it had to be stopped. One of the witnesses asked if it was something like 9/11, and they said that it was bigger and that it would come from the Middle East. The main witness then thought to himself that he had been in this situation before, And the tall alien heard his thoughts and repeated his name and said that, yes, he had been visited before when he was 6 years old in Deming, New Mexico. He'd been in the desert exploring, and they had talked to him then. He then blocked that out, and it all suddenly came back. And they said they knew they knew they were coming, and wanted them to warn people about the global warming and what was to come if they didn't start taking care of our planet. Visions of disaster then entered their heads as if to show them what was to come. The taller alien then walked closer and held his hand. He was no longer scared. Neither was his friend James, and they said that they would see them again soon and to warn people about saving our planet. Supposedly James was recording the whole time. The aliens then returned to the craft, and it was gone in a split second. When the craft left, they both felt weak, but managed to make their way back to the car. And when they got there, the occupants of the car, Heather and Jamie, were not crying anymore. They just hugged the witnesses. For a minute, the car would not start, and suddenly it just turned on by itself. As they started to drive away, 3 military helicopters appeared and began shining their lights on the witnesses. Then 2 military Hummers showed up and chased the witnesses. Well, they tried to avoid the Hummers, but were told over a speaker to pull over, or they would be forced to shoot at them. They pulled over, and the military personnel surrounded their vehicle. That went south in a hurry. 2 men dressed in black opened the door and asked them to get out. One of them looked familiar to the main witness. He asked the witness to get out, and both questioned them. And while the military personnel searched the car, and they asked them what they had seen and how long they had been there, and if they had any contact with the alien ship. One of the soldiers then found the video camera. The men in black reviewed it and told the witness they were not to speak of this. They then confiscated the camera and took the main witness with them. The other 3 witnesses asked where they were going, and they told them not to worry about it. He left them, and they questioned him further. He kept staring at one of the men since he looked familiar, and then dropped him off on the I-10 highway near Tonopah, Joe's restaurant. There he was picked up by his friends. There's Joe's, I guess. It's a truck stop. And that's the story. So did it happen? I don't know. What do you think, Sheldon?
Well, kind of hard to say, really.
Right. I mean, it's one of those it's a pretty robust story, but
I mean, lots of detail and
yeah,
lots of accounts, but
mm-hmm.
I mean, how can you verify that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you can verify or invalidate it either way. I mean, it's this apparently, I mean, it could be just creative writing, honestly. And what could we know? But I have heard mention of this before, but I never really knew the context of it. But now I guess I do. It's interesting. I certainly don't doubt that people are contacted or make contact with these extraterrestrials, for lack of a better term, whatever they are. It could be extra dimensional, could be something else, who knows. But whatever they are, it's a pretty compelling, curious story. Yeah.
Very curious. Yeah.
I don't know what to say. What do you guys think? Could it be? Could it be?
I mean, the thing that always gets me is, I swear we've read a few of these stories where the victim was like telepathically communicated with, and they were warned of this great disaster that's coming, and you know, they say it's going to happen here, and then years go by and don't happen.
Oh, well, I mean, certainly the Middle East has always been a hotbed for anything to go wrong at any time. I mean,
yeah,
it's just a volatile part of our world, where there's a lot of hate and distrust and aggression, even tribally, and I'm not speaking like just Israel versus, the Islamic, nations. It's also tribally in the Islamic nations between each other. And it's like, wow, there's a lot of aggression. It's a powder keg at the best of times. So certainly if something did blow up over there, it'd be like, well, yeah, kind of saw that coming for about 1,000 years.
Oh yeah, it's not surprising if it does happen, especially from the Middle East. But
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily validate this claim because I think everybody knows, look, the Middle East is always a hotbed of potential, tragedies and horror.
yeah,
So I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Local
Yeah.
Squatch says it's only volatile and full of hate because of the CIA. Could be Local Squatch. I mean, certainly I've heard those claims, and I'm familiar with some of that, not a ton of it, but I know that I believe that our CIA has been meddling with the world for a long time and caused a lot of friction. I don't doubt that. I don't have any incidents to qualify that statement, but all I can tell you is I've heard those claims, and it wouldn't
Right.
surprise me.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're doing more than just monitoring other nations and monitoring other
Right.
things. They're doing more. There's no way that's all they're doing. Monitoring. That's it.
I would love to think that our government has always been the good guys, but I just can't get there, and I don't think most people can. It's like, yeah, we know there's shenanigans all
Ruby
around the
Ridge.
board. Yep. So,
Plenty of examples like Ruby Ridge, but yeah.
well, yeah, yeah, exactly. That's a pretty horrible example, but not horrible in what you said, but just that it's something that we all know, and it's
Yeah.
terrifying. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's the first one of the alien files that we're going to cover tonight. Actually, we've covered several, but here's another one. And this one's from Friday, January 24th. This one's kind of sounds interesting. Again, it's somebody's claim. Does that mean it's real? Well, it may be. It may not be. It's a bold claim. I was abducted and taken to an amazing alien planet. This is a detailed experience. How detailed? Yeah, it's pretty detailed.
Whoa, that's
That's a lot of
claim.
detail.
Holy
That's a
moly,
lot
that's
of
big-
detail. I'm going to
that's a
be
big
reading
claim.
this one for a while. What time is it? I don't even know.
8:41 for you.
This might be the end of the show, honestly.
Holy moly! Oh my lord, that's long. Okay.
I will save the cryptids probably for tomorrow night, but I will read this through to you guys now. This is an abduction story, and could it be true? I guess it could be. I don't pretend to know. I'm not the arbiter of truth or fantasy, but it is a bold claim to make. There's no way I can prove any of this is factual. I also don't know how to explain what I saw or some things I heard, but I'll try my best. Here's my story. And Lon says, I recently received the following detailed account. Hi, in September 2020, I went to bed normally as usual. I fell asleep after 10 minutes or so and woke up at around 3 a.m. and was lying in bed looking at the ceiling, but my head was somewhat tilted to the right, and I could see my nightstand, my lamp, and my clock in my peripheral vision, and the clock said 3 something. I couldn't see further to the right than that, and I woke up in a very bizarre, dreadful feeling, and I felt like I was vibrating from head to toe, and I thought to myself, God, I hate sleep paralysis. Here we go. I told myself in my head, wake up, wake up, wake up. But then it dawned on me. I was completely consciously awake, looking at the ceiling in my bed, and I was frozen and just couldn't move. My eyes were open, and they were the only thing that I could move. Then the vibrating feeling got more intense, and it felt like I was buzzing. It felt like when one of your limbs fell asleep, but this is a whole body sensation. I started panicking. This is new to me. I've had sleep paralysis before, but this was different. And then I felt myself lift off my bed. The amount of dread I began to think about at that moment was unexplainable. I had a thought enter my mind that it was akin to, you're being taken. I was screaming internally, trying to resist whatever was happening. I continued to rise off my bed and felt my body rise up above to where I couldn't feel my bed at all. My eyes were getting closer to the ceiling, closer and closer. And then all of a sudden, it just went dark. I passed through the ceiling, but now I was looking down at our rooftop, and I was rising in the air slowly but steadily. Once I probably got up to about 250 feet above my house, the fear completely left me, and I could see straight down into the rooftops. I thought to myself, from this perspective, our neighborhood looks very bizarre. Probably because we're never really that high up in the air to see downward from that vantage point. My body began rotating again as I was continually rising, and now I assume I was probably 500 plus feet in the air. As my eyesight came to face the sky above, I saw a silver/grayish disc that had a black opening in the center of it. And as I got closer to the craft and closer, and then I entered it, then everything went black again. When I came to, I was looking down at the Earth from space. I was on the craft, but it was looking through a transparent glass material in which I could see the Earth and space in front of me. Underneath me and above me, it's as if I was a free floating in space, but was aware my feet were on a platform of some kind. As I was looking at the Earth through this material, 3 beings came up from behind. I knew there were 3 because they introduced themselves to me telepathically, but didn't show themselves. I know it sounds stupid, but I can't explain this part of an introduction. There were 2 males and 1 female, and they were all around 7+ feet tall. If I had to take a guess, I would assume that they were Nordics, but that's just conjecture on my part, since they only relayed their gender and height, and once again, I don't know how to explain this. In my mind, one of the males told me something that I can only translate as, "Come and see," or "Come and look." It might be a variation of "We want to show you something," but they spoke in my mind with feelings and imagery, if that makes sense. I understood their feelings in my mind was for me to come and look. And in that instance, we rapidly accelerated from the Earth, as if experiencing warp drive in Star Wars. But no, I didn't look. It didn't look blue and swirly. Earth just became so distant, so fast, that I was just blown away. I blacked out, or should I say, I don't know what happened between this part and the next. When I came to again, I was looking through this transparent material once again, but this time I was looking at a totally different planet than Earth. Earth looks blue from afar and has vast oceans, and this planet looked to be green all around. While looking down at this planet, the being said once again, "Come and see." And we began to approach the planet very quickly. We passed into the atmosphere and flew down seamlessly with no trouble at all and 0 resistance. And when we came closer to the surface, we were above a large body of water, and I could see the sun glistening off the water, and the water looked very vibrantly blue and healthy. And I thought, Jesus, that water is beautiful. The being said this to me in my mind: "This water has not been altered in any way, shape, or form. It is in its most natural and perfect state." I was amazed by how it looked. The craft started moving, and I could see us flying over the water at an incredible speed. And out far in the distance, I could see a landmass appear. And getting closer and closer, once we were close enough, I could see these weird buildings on the edge of the land. The land looked super bizarre, like a deep foresty jungle. But there wasn't a beach. It just went straight from water to an endless thick green jungle. There were these crystalline-looking buildings near the water that resembled the top half of a top. The architecture looked like super strange because usually buildings have squared elements to them, but these looked very smooth and seamless, as if they were one single material with no screws, frames, or etc. I tried recreating what I saw and got close, but the image just doesn't do it justice. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure it was breathtaking. That, not so much. Looks like a sorry board, doesn't it? You know, the game Sorry.
Yes,
that's what I'm thinking. Anyway, after flying over this view with the buildings and the land, we approached what I think was a hangar of some sort, and we landed, and the being said, "We are here. Come and see." And then I was in this futuristic-looking city. The design of the city looked like it didn't infringe on nature, as if the building itself was integrated with nature. And this is very hard to describe. As we entered into the structure, we came into the middle, and it was as if we were in a gathering hub or center. And there were hundreds and hundreds of people in there. They looked to be regular humans, all Caucasian, with fair complexions, and they were all wearing these purplish royalty-looking robes. And it looked so funny, but also so intriguing, as if all the people were royalty, but it looked fashionable. I can't find a picture of what I saw that even resembles this part. All of the people were walking around the city square, and they would pass by each other and exchange pleasantries. For example, "Hey, how are you? Nice to see you," etc. And the weird part is they were all talking to each other without opening their mouths. And I asked the beings, "How can I hear them?" The beings responded with, "It's their form of what you would call a hive mind. But it's different than what you're thinking." They portrayed to me that they were all connected via a link, but still had their autonomy. It was like a central communication device that they all had, in which they all could talk, understand each other, and conversate, essentially through telepathy, which is just advanced technology. And they explained it to me that it's essentially like calling someone on a cell phone, but the device medium is no longer handheld, but in them. They didn't explain anything further. I also saw persons holding glass pads that were just see-through clear glass, and I have no idea what they were. I assume it's like a version of their iPad, but I didn't see any lights or anything else on them. In the central portion of the city, I saw these people kept approaching these floating glass boxes. These floating glass boxes emitted a light beam from each box to another, and they were all separated by maybe 25 feet or so, and they would approach the box, open the front portion of it, stick their hand into the light. The being said this is their version of what the internet is to you. They transmit data and information via light, and I know that sounds ridiculous. And I don't know how they download info from light. That's just what the being said. As I continued to observe the people walking around, going to and fro, the being said these people have achieved global peace. There are no wars, no illness. Everyone understands each other, and they have perfected society. They do not infringe on nature, but work with nature. And they're more advanced than Earth, but not by much. While the being was telling me this, I got a flush of understanding, or an image in my mind of Earth being behind due to the reasons stated above. It felt like these beings were wanting to show me that there is an advanced civilization out there that figures it out and progresses beyond self-destruction. They showed me that also that everyone works together to a degree, and everyone plays a part in society with a main goal of progression. A good analogy of this is if Earth right now is an old rusty Honda Civic with torn seats, and this planet and its civilization is brand new all-electric Lamborghini. A terrible analogy, I know. I saw men and women working together on what I assume was a futuristic-looking platform. There was a handpad thing that used light beams to control something in the city. Once again, I don't have the vocabulary to describe what I was seeing. Everything was so melted together. Everything worked by light or with light, like a potter working with clay. And I don't even know how to explain what I saw, but I tried my best. The beings then took me outside where I could see the mountainous jungle surrounding the building, and there was a large mountain to the north that had a machine that was rhythmically tapping the mountain. I have no idea what this was for or what it was doing, but I got the feeling it was vibrating the earth because when it hit the ground, I could feel a pulse and the earth move. It was sending out vibrations, but I didn't hear anything more about this. The machine looked like a boxing glove machine from an arcade mixed with a giant excavator, but all crystalline in appearance. The beings then told me it was time to go back, and we went back to the disk and left the island. Then went back to the atmosphere and then into space. Once again, I saw this planet become smaller and smaller as we zoomed away, and in a flash, I could see we were approaching Earth once again. And we descended into Earth's atmosphere, and the beings once again said, "Come and see." And we're now above the Big Ben in London at nighttime, and we must have been about 1,000 to 2,000 feet above it. And there was scaffolding around Big Ben like it was under construction. As I looked at Big Ben through the glass, the beings started talking to each other, and this time I could hear them perfectly, and one of the male beings laughed and said to the other two, "It's always funny to me that we are right here, this close, and the people down there have no idea we're here." And after that, they said, "It's time for you to go back." It felt like teleportation, how fast we traveled back to my home, and it was almost instant, and I could see my rooftop below. They didn't say goodbye or anything, and I felt myself leave the craft almost the exact same way I entered. The deep vibrating feeling and the physical locking, etc. And I descended from the craft while looking up at it, and I saw myself exit the bottom, and I felt myself getting closer and closer to my roof. And I passed through the roof, saw myself enter my room, and as soon as I hit my bed, I panicked and jumped out of bed like you see in the horror movies. The time was then 3:40. And I paced around my room asking myself what in the world just happened. This didn't feel like a dream at all. It was way too vivid and clear, and I was conscious throughout this experience. The memory plays out more vividly than the actual dreams I've had, and that's my experience, though. And I wonder if anyone has experienced something similar. And there's no note from Lon on that one, but what do you think?
Don't blame him.
Yeah, I mean, what do you say to that, right?
Wow.
Again, is it true? Maybe not. I don't know.
It's so detailed, though. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know what to make of it either. Is it possible? Sure. I mean, I've talked to abductees that I believe are telling me their truth. It's hard to conceptualize a lot of it. It's hard to wrap your head around it. A lot of it seems like maybe it was all just a vision given to this person to try to make our lives better. I don't know. I just don't know.
Huh.
I would love for it to be real. Like, hey, you know what? We can do better. Sure. I hope we can. But, and I sure know we're not doing the best we can now. There's just a lot of things broken in our world, but I think I think a lot of us have the dreams of living in a society like, maybe not like that one. I don't like the idea that someone would be plugged into my head all the time or have the ability to suck my thoughts out. You know, it's like, hey, this is my space, you know.
I want to talk crap without being mind read.
Yeah, exactly. Are we going to talk crap about that guy if he can hear us? Yeah, it's kind of a bad trade, but you know, I'm just saying I don't know. It's a pretty fascinating possibility, I'll say. Are there probably advanced civilizations that are doing this all a lot better than we are? I'm sure there are. I'm sure there's tons of them throughout the cosmos. I really believe that. I don't know. Something's appearing in our skies with somebody driving it and looking at us. I think we might be like the intergalactic petting zoo or something. Like, hey kids, let's go drive by Earth, see what those idiots are up to. You know, I think we might be the intergalactic 7-Eleven for all we know. I don't know. You know, who knows? I'm just saying. But
I mean, Earth would be like the YouTube of like fails of the week. Society and
it's
humanity.
like the Fail Army channel. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Could be. I don't know. I mean, again, there's a lot of good going on here too. It's not all bad, but certainly it's easy to see all the things that are going sideways and go, oh my God.
Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if they watched us out of entertainment at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we might be like the Gilligan's Island of the cosmos, the Truman Show down here. You know,
are they going to do it this season?
Yeah, what are those idiots going to do this season? God, I can't wait. Yeah, you never know. It could be. Barbara, you going to sleep? Oh, good night to you.
Good night.
Yeah, it's I guess it's getting a little later. We're not too late though. We're still okay. I maybe could squeeze out one cryptid story. What do you think?
Sure.
Let's do a cryptid
you were
story.
extremely late anyway.
I wasn't extremely late. Let's not say extremely. I was 10 minutes late. 10 minutes late. So I'll give you guys a little cryptid story. Because we can't have no cryptids. That would just seem wrong.
That wouldn't be a show. Yeah.
This is the cryptid portal. It is now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do some cryptid. Rachel. Earth is a park for aliens and they let the chupacabra off the leash. Yeah. Could be. Sadly enough, could be. It's hard to say. All right, this is the Cryptid Corner, ladies and gentlemen, and since we're already on Phantoms and Monsters, let's just hit one of Lon's articles here. This one's kind of interesting. It's maybe not everybody's favorite choice for cryptids, but I think it's interesting all the same. And that is these proto-pygmy reports. And this one's pretty short. We might actually be able to get a couple of these in. This one's pretty short. This was from phantomsandmonsters.com, ladies and gentlemen. Angry gnome manifests in Kentucky woods, causing girl to faint. It's a little red cap, too. So here's the takeaway that I've heard. This is from Robin Moonshadow, who's been on the show a few times talking about proto-pygmies and stuff, and she talks about the gnomes, and she says the red caps are the dicks. They're the little jerks. They don't like us. So, yeah, I started late, minion.
Oh.
Yeah, so I got another about 10 minutes to go.
Oh.
Okay?
It just turned 9.
I know. You came
I
right.
play VR.
I don't care. Sure. Go ahead. All right. He's going to play VR, folks. He just came to ask. Sweet little boy. All right. The gnome manifests and he looks upset. And she looks over and he points at her and snaps his fingers. And she instantly passes out. Ooh, that's creepy. They actually get like this power over people. Like, and then you're unconscious. That's horrible. Horrible little gnomes. No, I don't think they're horrible. I don't know anything about them personally. Just what people have told me. I received the following account. Hi. My boyfriend told me a story of the gnome man that he and his friends saw. And he was walking with his 4 friends, and one of them was a girl, and the rest were guys. So the 5 of them are out in Kentucky and just chilling in a small patch of woods in Newport near Marydale. And they sit down and all of a sudden feel this charge in the air. And the girl just says, there's something around us, but it's weak. And they all look over at her, and then boom, the gnome manifests, and he looks upset. She looks over, and he points at her and snaps his fingers. And she instantly passes out. The guys grab her and tried to drag her out of the woods, and she didn't come fully to until they were out on the street. All he did was snap his fingers at her. And I think the vibe was that he was upset. I'm probably getting visited by a little gnome right now. What do you mean we're dicks? I'm sorry. All he did was snap his fingers. I think the vibe was that he was upset that she called him weak. Well, that's rude anyway, and I definitely don't feel the energy and randomly insult them. I definitely don't feel the energy and randomly insult them. I always respect nature spirits as that is their domain, and my boyfriend and his other friends are like me. They're like me too. Nature freaks that leave offerings in their favorite spots. That girl never stuck around after that, and I don't blame her, but damn, that means there are gnomes in Kentucky. Could be. I mean, why not? Why not Kentucky?
Why not? Yeah.
There's lots of ancient lore of, the First Nations tribes seeing these diminutive little people. And I don't know that, I think the ones that looked like gnomes were considered horrible. But the ones that looked like these bug-eyed purple things were considered very benevolent and helpful to the Cherokee.
Oh.
Yeah, the Cherokee little people. But that's the story that I heard. Again, I'm getting all of this just from years of carousing and prowling the net and finding these little threads of information. Is it true? Hell, I don't know. Maybe. My stepdaughter built a leprechaun house, like a gingerbread house at school, and she said that she saw a tiny man walking around it in our house, like a tiny leprechaun, little person. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh.
I certainly believe that, certainly things like that could attract these, and I think they're largely I don't know if they're actually physical or if they're just out of phase with us, and they have a very physical build, but they just are more like ghost-like to us because they're not in our frequency completely. Maybe they can choose to be in our frequency, but that you can possibly attract these things by the old butterfly.
Younger.
Yeah, when you're younger, it's easier, is maybe what it's saying.
Well, yeah, that's true.
You can maybe attract these things by doing things to try to bring them in, and certainly there's an innocence of kids, and their ability to see them. Maybe being younger is part of the key. I don't know. That's kind of interesting. It said younger. So I actually love the idea of these little people being around. I think it's really cool. I don't know. I guess it's.
I mean, I think all this is cool, and I think it's, I hope all of it exists. Well, most of it exists.
Yeah. Well, exactly. But what do you think? Do you guys think there could be these little people out there? Do you think, I guess I'm asking a lot of questions, but do you think that they're physical, or do you think they're more spiritual, or what do you guys think? I'd love to hear your guys' take, and maybe that'd be a good question of the week. If Chucky's out there, I don't know if he's here or not, but I don't know.
I do like your idea though, that, maybe some of these things aren't strictly spiritual. Maybe they're just in a dimension that's close to ours, but just a little out of phase, and that's why they pop up sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
I like that idea. I do.
That to me makes sense, because I really think, again, we, by frequency, it could just mean light. Like we see things in a very limited frequency of the available light spectrum. We hear things in a very limited frequency of the sound spectrum, of the hertz and kilohertz and stuff. And, all of our senses are based on this frequency in which we live in, except for our, extrasensory perceptions or whatever. Those, I think, are much broader. But I do believe in these diminutive beings. Yeah. Thank you, Neil. Anybody else? Sometimes the mind sees what it wants to see, even if it's not there. Well, there's that, Jed. I mean, there's certainly a confirmation bias that people have, like it must be a gnome, because I believe it is. And who knows? You're right. But I just think there's something to this stuff, that these stories have continued through centuries of histories and more, I'm sure. But and the other part that's strange is that it's not just one geographical region. Much like Sasquatch, there's, we have Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Grassman, skunk apes, boogers, and a million other names, hundreds of other names in the U.S. From First Nations and more. And then over in Australia, you have the Yowies, which, if you get past the term and you look at what they're describing, it's basically the same thing. And then you have the Almas up in the, the mountains of Russia, and the Yeren in China, and the Woodwose and the Greyman and the Grogach, and the, there's so many other terms of these things. You have even Ibugogo and the Orang Pendek could be versions of this, although on a smaller scale. But it shows that it's a global phenomena to some degree, that there's these primate or hominid type beings that still exist around us. And even the Homo floresiensis, the Hobbit people of Indonesia, could be some version of this, but maybe more sapien than hominid. But I don't know. It's just very interesting. So these things could be existing around us in occupying maybe the same space and time as us, but they just aren't in the same vibrational constant as we are all the time. And so I don't know. I mean, it's just, I always wanted an Oompa Loompa. Well, good luck with that, Chet. Just don't eat the experimental blueberries candy. Just don't do it. So anyway, it's very interesting stuff. And, you can, again, believe what you want to believe. I'm not telling you should believe in this. I'm not telling you shouldn't. But I just try to keep an open mind for it all, because I don't pretend to know. And again, I'm not pretending to be the arbiter of truth here. Just because even if I can't get my head around something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means I'm showing you my paradigm. And even if I can and you can't, then that's okay too. We don't all have to be right. We don't all have to be wrong. And we probably, both of us aren't either. We're just somewhere in the middle. So, I don't know. Interesting stuff though. I think that's probably about where we're going to wrap it up though, because we're at 8 minutes after 9 on my clock here. And I started at 7:10 or 7:10.
7, jeez, late, huh?
Just a few minutes. I actually did pretty good wrapping up the show and getting it ready on just a few moments, realizing, oh my God, I'm going to be late. So I put
impressive.
I put out a message on Facebook and said, oh God, I'm going to be late. It might be about 7:15, but I got it up and going by about 10 minutes after. So I was feeling good about it.
Well, good job.
But that's going to do it for tonight, I think, folks. I hope you guys had a good time. Hope you enjoyed the journey. Sheldon, did you have a good time?
I always have a good time here.
Oh, good. Anything in closing, my boy?
Absolutely, guys. Don't forget, paranormalportal.net, the home base of the Paranormal Portal, where you can keep up to date on new episodes and podcasts and all of that coming right at you every single week. Aside from that, we got our link for Discord, gg.paranormalportal /paranormal portal. I'll put that right in the chat, where you can keep up with all the discussions, all the links, all the amazing stuff our community is bringing information-wise. It's great.
And Sheldon's very active over in that community, as is Rachel and Chucky and Maggie and Annie Manul and so many others. So if you like our chat room, you're probably going to like our Discord, because it's a lot of the same people over there just continuing to have a great discussion back and forth. And there's lots of different threads you can comment on. Tomorrow night, we'll get into the Discord question of the week, and we'll see what Chucky put on the table for us this week to discuss, and see what you guys had to say about it. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, we have a Discord channel. Sheldon put the link there. But every week we pose a question to our Discord community. It's in the questions of the week thread. And you're welcome to weigh in on it and let us know what you think. And we'll read them live on the show. Thank you, Grandizer, for putting up that. That is the P.O. Box. Thank you so much. That's the P.O. Box. If any of you want to send me something nice, I would appreciate it. But I'll actually copy that and put it over on Rumble, just in case anybody's interested. And that's P.O. Box 483, and that's in Sandpoint, Idaho, 83864. If you got a package of some love you want to send me, or just some artwork you'd like me to hang up in the studio, God, I'd love to see it. So keep the packages coming. I haven't actually checked that for a while. I better get down there. I don't know if they send stuff back if I don't go down within a certain period of time. So if you ever did send something and it came back, let me know. I do apologize. But if you do send something, send me an email. Let me know that something's coming. That's always a good help. And the email address is paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. So that's going to wrap up the show. And I hope you guys have a good evening and day tomorrow. And I'll be back tomorrow evening, and we'll start up again at 7 p.m. Again, Tex Wesson should be joining me. So we'll dig into it then. Until then, remember, next Wednesday, I'm going to have Bigfoot Michigan Rob here on the show with me. We're going to blow through an episode with Rob, let him be a part of the portal. Actually, you may or may not know this if you're familiar with Bigfoot Michigan Rob. Rob started out as a part of the audience on the Paranormal Portal back in 2017 or 2018.
Wow.
And he actually owned a bar in Michigan, and he would play the show live on his bar TV. From YouTube, and it was really cool. And he called in a few times, or at least once, shared his Bigfoot story, which is really a very emotional experience. Rob's a great guy, and he's going to come on Wednesday and be a part of the discussion and join in the portal. So it's been way too long. I'm surprised it took me this long to get him on here. But we're going to have him on Wednesday, so watch for that. But Tex is tomorrow night. Oh, I love Tex. Tex is awesome. I don't know. Donnie really gets into the paranormal too much. I mean, I know he talks around the paranormal, but his show is not really paranormal related. And you know, I'm open to having Donnie on. I want to get on Brandy and Krista too from Blondes and Booze. Those guys are great. I want to get them on a podcast and talk to them as well as the live show. Be a lot of fun, and get Monica back here. Maybe she'll go through a live show with me too. Monica's great. Yeah. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. So remember, love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other and help each other out. Find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. And I'll be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, usually.
Yeah, usually.
And hopefully I'm more punctual tomorrow night. So good night and sweet dreams. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow. That's it.
Good night.